Before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to our friends Emma and Zach. They're graduating class of 2023. Congratulations. On to the video. John.
We got a mess.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I got a mess, and you're involved.
If you got a mess, I automatically have a mess. I mean, that's just how that works. All right, John, what am I looking at?
This is a Kandi cart. As K-N-D-I, I think is how you spell it.
Don't ask me.
It's pretty cool. 150 cc's, automatic, forward, neutral, and reverse.
Eventually.
Yeah. Right now, it's going to be powered by a Buggy.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. We're going to put that little thing to work. This has been sitting back here a while, but, I mean, we've had worse and made it work.
So I went ahead and bought a CDI. I bought a new carburetor, and I have a battery. So we're ahead of the game a little bit. We know what we're going to need to at least try to see if it'll run at least.
So is this a will it run episode?
Yeah.
All right, then. For context, this cart sat in the woods next to my house for a few years. It was full of critters, had vines growing through it, and was in need of a lot of work. And when I say it was full of critters, I mean it was full of critters. Pretty sure this is some sort of hate crime. All four tires were flat and the chain was locked up, so pushing it wasn't an option. So we chained up to the bayou and tried to pull it, and it did not go well. So we had to pull out the big guns. I guess I'm taking the first ride in this thing. Oh, it's so dirty. Man. Okay. I wonder if the brake does not work. That brake is locked down. Hope I don't need it. Let's roll, Poncho. Yeah, she's moving. Well, this has turned into more of a job than we anticipated.
All these videos, they're only 8 minutes long. You wonder why? Well, I can't show you all this crap. I'm going to show you what we have to go through to make stuff move around the yard.
Yeah, because we pulled it from over there to here. It's probably, what, 40 yards maybe?
Yeah.
And both tires are off the rim. And there's absolutely no way these are going to hold air because they're just dry rotted and falling apart. They're split in a bunch of places. Luckily, I always keep spares. That crap y'all see hanging around in the backyard, eventually it finds its use. Those will fit on that. So we're going to put them on there. So John's about to throw the jack up under there. We'll lift it up, get these tires pulled off. All right, ready?
Yep.
Oh, that thing's heavy.
Yeah.
Whew.
It'll roll a lot better when the front tires are round.
There's that.
Yeah.
That might have had something to do with why they were so hard to push. And they're both like that. I mean, they're good looking tires. We got Sun F and
It's probably High Sun or something.
Far East.
Yeah, something.
I bet they did come from there.
One wonderful thing we just figured out, there's not a spark plug in the head. So we're about to find out if it even turn over.
So our stunt double battery is in. And we're going to try it, see if it does anything. And it doesn't look promising, does it? Well, try it. Let's see what happens.
No light came on. Oh my God.
Dang.
Wow,
Really?
That sounds good.
Turn it over again. She's got compression.
Good.
Heck yeah. So that tells me it was either a carb issue or a spark issue that put this thing down.
Let's just see if it's got spark.
She has spark.
Oh my God.
You see that? That's a happy John right there.
Oh my God. I didn't even think it was going to turn over.
I didn't either.
It's even got spark. A lot of Chinese things get thrown away because they don't have spark. The CDI will go out.
Now, here's something that I was noticing, and I wasn't paying attention to it, but it just dawned on me. I think I found why this thing died. Look at how busted up that boot is, and it looks like somebody tried to putty it back together or something. If I remember right, you showed up over here with a carb.
Yeah.
And a boot. Yeah. Oh, is that a nibby too?
Yep.
Sheesh.
Yeah, this is a Chakuni.
Chakuni?
It says Makuni, but
hey,
you know
man,
it ain't.
There ain't nothing wrong with a Chakuni. I've run them all kinds of stuff.
You ain't getting a real Makuni for $28.
You're right. Do you care? All right, then. It's the next day. My camera died. I'm sorry. We ran out of daylight before it charged back up. But anyway, back out here on this lovely thing. It's got spark. It's got compression. So we put everything together, put a plug in it, sprayed starting fluid in it, and it fired. So that gives us hope. So now what I'm doing is trying to put this carburetor on. Trying. Very hard. You see all that crap on top of it? Apparently this boot was split. I've got the nuts off now finally, but this boot was split and they covered it in like tar or something, it looks like. I had to cut through that mess for about the last hour just picking away at it just so I could get to the nuts to take this boot off. But now it's ready to come off. Come on. There we go. Got that vacuum line we'll have to disconnect, but it's off of there. Okay, so we got the battery all hooked up. Don't mind the safety lean. It's a sealed battery. It's okay. Got the air filter nice and smushed in there. We had to hook up a different throttle cable because, as it turns out, the one we've already got run through the cart ain't long enough. So we'll have to revisit that later. We capped off the vacuum lines because we don't need it for this gravity-fed tank. We hooked up an old Predator tank because this one still had old gas in it, and we don't want to push a bunch of junk down into this new carburetor. I think we're ready to fire this thing up.
Yeah. Let's get the wheels off the ground in case it goes down the road without us.
You mean you don't want to see how fast it'll go without a rider?
Not into your house.
Good point. All right. Choke's out. I'm going to grab his throttle cable.
All right, you ready?
So we've been out here struggling with trying to get this thing started. And John, what'd you find?
I realized the spark plug was not wet when I pulled it out. So I took the carburetor apart and there was no fuel in the bowl. So the float needle was stuck.
It's not the same exact carburetor that goes on, but that's not how we roll here anyway. So
if it fits, it gets.
There you go.
It ain't gonna start without the spark plug in it.
Whoa. Does the sight of blood and suffering bother y'all at all? You can't be serious.
Yeah.
All right, so we are at a loss here. We're going to check the compression real quick. Go ahead, John, turn it over. 35-ish. Yeah, maybe 40. Do it one more time. Yeah, about the same. And it's climbing slow, so either way it ain't good. It's either going to be the valves or the piston. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to take this compression tester back out and use this little oiler and shoot some oil in there. And if the compression goes up, we know it's more than likely the rings. So give me a second, let me try that. We got the oil in the cylinder. Got the tester hooked back up. John, try it again. Yeah. Got it about 55, close to 60. I think them rings are toast, dude.
So either a new motor or rebuild that one, put a big bore kit on it. I don't know yet. We'll decide later.
But we're kind of at a standstill on this one, ain't we?
Yeah.
Dang, I really wanted to drive this thing
Running out of
today.
daylight tonight too, so
Also true.
instead of my mosquitoes are tearing us up.
Yeah, that too. Now, granted, this thing sat out in the woods without a plug in it for Lord knows how long.
Well, we know of 2 years that it sat in the woods without a plug in it.
That's true.
I don't know how long it was before it ended up in the woods next to your house.
But more than likely, it got water in the inside the cylinder, and the rings got rusty. And then when we started spinning it over, they broke loose. And I don't know. Hell, we could have damaged the inside of that cylinder by now.
Yeah, it's possible.
But it sounds to me like a good excuse for a big bore kit.
Yeah.
Something we're also looking into is possibly just putting a whole new motor in it, because as it turns out, they're relatively cheap. You can put a brand new GY6 150, depending on short case or long case, for between $280 and $350. So we may go that route. We're going to figure out what we're going to do for that. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, you can like and subscribe. And until next time, y'all get up, get out there, and
Get after it.